So what
Yeah.
was the reason, what was the number one reason that you
Yeah.
decided to join the program?
Well, I will say, so I'm ex-military, ex-army. I guess you're always army, but I'm someone who, at one point in my life was like very, very fit. And then I got out of the military. I kind of, let myself go. And you don't have to do it for your job. You just kind of fall out of those habits. And then when you're not exercising as much, you just, the same amount of food, that's eating the same, it, will slowly just kind of start to add on to your weight, kind of without you realizing it. And then I had two kiddos, and that kind of just threw my metabolism way out of whack. Seemed like it was so difficult just to lose weight, just to lose like a few pounds. And then it would kind of yo-yo. I'd lose some, I'd gain some. And then I had just so many people telling me, what to do. Don't eat carbs. You have to eat carbs to lose weight. Do intermittent fasting. I kind of have tried every single diet that you could probably think of. I went vegan for a year. I went keto. I intermittent fasted for a year. And it just kind of, you get short-term results, and then it would come back, and I would always plateau, and I never would continue to get results. And it seemed like a really, really hard struggle just to get the few results that I got. So it just wasn't maintainable, super confusing. And I finally, I'm getting closer to like a milestone birthday, and I just feel like, I'm done having kids. So I just really wanted to get myself in shape and kind of have a clear plan for like how to just get my body where I want it to go and maintain it, and not be feeling like I'm struggling to get my body to look how I want it to look all the time.
That's so good. And I'm glad you mentioned like the confusion, right? Because I think that's what so many of our clients experience. There's so
Right.
much misinformation
Yeah.
out there, so
Yeah.
many myths that people think they have to do. And it
Right.
makes
Right.
me really sad, right? Because so many people waste so much time and they give up on themselves because they
Right.
think they have to do all these crazy things and they're not even necessary.
Right.
Like you
Right.
can achieve great results while also keeping it super flexible.
Right.
So I'm really
Yeah.
happy you got that out of it. That's
Yeah.
honestly one of the
And
best
I'm a
things for
doctor. So
me.
it's like, it's not because it's like the information out there is conflicting, even
Yeah,
from like healthcare people and nutrition people.
yeah,
They'll tell you if you fast too much, you're going to, start gaining weight, and
yeah.
it's really, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I'm really glad you got that out of it. That's such a big
Yes.
piece of this. It's just making sure that people get the right information, you
Right.
know, and figure out like what they actually don't need to worry about at all. So
Right.
really happy
Right.
you got that out of it. So what would you
Mm-hmm.
say if we just, look at your experience overall? What would you say were the main things that you got out of it, or the main tools that you got out of it?
So I'm a pretty disciplined person. So, if you tell me what to do, I pretty much can do it for the most part. I think what surprised me the most and what probably helped me the most was all the mental things that and we had talked about it quite a bit. I just didn't realize I'm a pretty mentally tough person, but my relationship with food and my relationship with the scale was like a struggle, and I'm a perfectionist also. So I'm just like, do this, get this result. Uh, and uh, and I think the biggest thing just in the beginning, Isaiah kind of talked about how if you have an all or nothing mindset, it's kind of a huge barrier. And you hear it, but then when you actually are going through it, you kind of realize how much that really is true. Because if you just expect to just constantly see the scale drop, or you just constantly expect to stick to your plan 100%, it's not realistic. There are times when you have to go out of town. There are times when someone has a birthday party. There are times when, you haven't seen someone in a long time, and want to go out. And so just to stick to a diet or eating plan or exercise plan 100%, I feel like you're never going to stray. And if you do that, all is lost, is like it's not a good place to be. It's not maintainable. But like, because I have that perfectionist mindset, that's literally how I went into it. Like, don't mess up, like count your calories, weigh yourself. And then so when days when the scale would go up, I would be like, what is going on? Like, no. But then you just kind of settle into like, this is more of a lifestyle change. It's a journey, and the weight does come off. You just have to kind of focus more on the journey and learning the skills, as opposed to staring at the results all the time. Otherwise, you just kind of get super frustrated with the process, and it's very easy to, have a bad day or quit, because you feel like, well, I'm doing all this stuff and then I'm still gaining weight, or it's not happening as quick as I'd like it to. And then you're just like, what's the point? Let me just go eat a pint of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to do that. And then once you fall off, then you're just in that downward spiral of, beating yourself up again and, all those types of things. So I think I just learned to kind of be nicer to myself and give myself a little bit of slack and grace and just realize it's not necessary to be 100% perfect all the time. And it's just a lifestyle change that I've learned to kind of implement and just do going forward. I think that's the biggest thing, just all the mental aspects of it. And then just my relationship with the scale has gotten a lot better. And my relationship with food has gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I'm glad you mentioned the perfectionist thing as well, because I think that was a pretty big one for you. Like it wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
you could have pushed yourself more than you needed to. And that's the thing, like you
Mm-hmm.
were constantly doing that. Like you were
Mm-hmm.
trying to do better, do better, do better, when in reality you were already ticking off all the boxes. Like you were
Yeah.
already doing everything that you needed to do, but you just wanted more,
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
and I
Like, if
think,
this is good, then more is better, right? But more is not maintainable, and it's very stressful.
yeah, exactly. And you
Yeah.
were already doing so well, and you were getting progress at the exact rate that we wanted. So
Right.
it was just a matter of like getting you to realize like it doesn't have to be as hard as possible. Do you know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's so good. So what would you say to anyone out there right now who's on the fence about signing up?
Yeah. So I would say there's probably a lot of reasons to sign up. Not everybody's in the same boat. Some people have never exercised before; they don't even know where to start. And then some people are more like myself, where you're already exercising and you're eating healthy. Like when I first talked to Isaiah, I told him I was like, I eat pretty healthy, but it's not the same. Eating healthy is I've realized is not the same as eating for weight loss, specifically for fat loss. It's not the same. So I was already eating healthy and exercising probably like 5 or 6 times a week. So I wasn't just like lazy or just sitting on the couch, and I still wasn't getting the results that I wanted to consistently. So I would say, if as long as you have the motivation to do it, you just have to make a decision, and then the rest, is really just giving it your best. It's not even being perfect. If you just kind of are willing to learn and you have the motivation and your why behind it, then you're going to get the results. As long as you just take steps in the right direction. So for me, I just wanted more clarity to know, like, what am I supposed to be doing? How should I be eating? How can I make this more of a lifestyle change, and just kind of overcoming a lot of the frustration around weight loss, whereas somebody else may not even know where to begin. And that is still a good person to be part of the program. And even when we did our group calls, everyone was in a different place, but we all had kind of ways to, help each other just in different ways. So just having other people that are doing with you, the community is really good. Isaiah's super sweet. You're super sweet. I mean, like, we would ask some really kind of like basic questions or some of the same questions. And I know for sure you guys would kind of like say it in a way, until it kind of clicked, or we got it, or we were able to kind of progress past that, which is really different than, what I've experienced. Some people kind of sit in a lane. You either have your trainer to help you exercise, or you have somebody to help you eat, or you have somebody to kind of help you through the hard part of it. But having all of it kind of put together and then kind of tailored to what this person may need versus this person is really kind of unique to you guys' program. And it's really, really good. Because most of the time, like, for me, I didn't have a hard time necessarily doing the things. A lot of it was just mindset work. And, I did not go into it thinking it was that, that was going to be what I needed the most. But that is essentially what I needed the most. And I feel like now I can do it on my own, which is, really what I wanted at the end of the day, was the clarity and kind of the empowerment, and then just be able to get past the mental hurdles that can kind of set you up for failure. So that's me. Somebody else, may be different, but it's kind of tailor made to everybody. So I feel like you just really don't have anything to lose. You're going to get results. I don't think you guys will allow somebody to not get the results they, want to get. It just may be at a different rate, and it just really just depends on where they're starting from. So, I just feel like it's a no-brainer. You just don't have anything really. There's no real downside to it, to be honest.
That is so good.